All right. So today's challenge, or this week's whole challenge, is called Client Overflow. And it's a 3-day challenge plus a bonus day. So Thursday is going to be extra time for Q&A on any of the topics we've spoken about. We are talking about how to scale beyond one-to-one work, how to create binge-worthy content that converts your dream clients, and how to really unlock your path to 20K months without the burnout. So this is really talking about sustainable marketing. I'm going to run through a little bit about my own business journey if you're not familiar with who I am, and some of just the things you need to know about this challenge. So personally, I started out in private practice in 2016 and I worked for other companies for about 4 years. In the middle of 2020, I left my salary job feeling quite burnt out and ready to essentially leave the industry. I was done being a dietitian and I felt that I just never really found my place. I didn't enjoy the work. I didn't enjoy the company I was working for, and I ended up taking a couple of months off. End of 2020, I started my own online business in the IBS space and pretty quickly felt like I finally found my place. I, for a long time, been working with, in a niche and with clients that I didn't really enjoy, and being able to go online and choose a niche and choose who I worked with was a pretty nice feeling, as well as having obviously your own schedule and all of that. In 2021, so within 9 months, I hit my first 10K month and continued to scale from there. In 2022, I co-coached with another business mentor and got to see behind the scenes of what it's like to coach other dietitians in the online space as well, at the same time as hitting my first 20K month. In 2024, I was hitting consistent 20K months through my nutrition business and also dropping back my client hours. So I do a lot of group programs and I was seeing clients 1 to 2 days per week, not massive back-to-back days, but actually just doing a couple of hours each day. And this is really the business model that I follow now and that I teach as well, because it allows you to work with dreamy clients, still get them incredible results, but at the same time as giving yourself your own freedom as well. As I'm sure a lot of you do with your nutrition clients, I always like to think about the why, and the why behind my business is it's the time freedom, it's the financial freedom, and to be able to work for myself. I love to travel. I like to be a present partner. As a female, I also want to be an equal provider. I like to work from home with my dogs and set myself up for my future family. And I also really love not relying on the medical system, not going to doctors' meetings to get referrals, and not just have kind of anyone come through my door. So this is really the why. And I imagine you're here because you have similar whys. So this really got me to develop what I call the scale method. So the scale method is the 3 fundamental things that I help my clients to implement as well. Step 1 is really about mastering content and messaging. If we are mastering content and messaging, this is how people are going to come through the door. It's going to be able to how you control who you actually work with. Step 2 is talking about launching online programs, having funnels set up in the background so that you can not only bring in clients with launches, but also have it running in the background. And step 3 is really looking at your offer suite and how to scale sustainably so that you can work with clients, but not just be completely burnt out back to back. So as a bit of an overview, this is what we are going to be touching on throughout this 3-day challenge. So essentially day 1, which is today, we're talking all about authority content. So how to create content that really deeply resonates with your dream clients and positions you as the authority, not just putting yourself as like a Google or like a friend that they are just looking for tips and tricks, but actually how they're going to show up and respect you. Day 2, we're going from one-to-one to one-to-many. So how to launch a strategic launch runway for a profitable and transition from one-to-one into a group model. Day 3, we're talking more about sustainable scaling. So we're looking at income goals. We're looking at how to set up your offer suite and your programs that really support sustainable growth. And then day 4 is Q&A. There is going to be 2 times on day 4 to suit different time zones. So if you are listening to the recording and you're in Europe, there will be a time so you can come to a live Q&A as well. There is also going to be a small homework challenge each day. So essentially this is something I'm going to give for you to do. You'll submit that inside of the Facebook group and then I'll give you feedback. So this is going to be around things like creating content, so that you can then go and implement it into your business as well. I'm also doing a giveaway. So just because you came live and if you also do the homework, you'll also go in the draw to win an intensive with me. So I'll announce this later in the week. Essentially, every time you participate, you get an extra entry to get an intensive. And I'm going to be talking about scale. So, a lot of the stuff we're talking about throughout this 3 day challenge all comes from within Scale the Mastermind. So, this is how I do work with health professionals to build their online businesses. You'll also get early access and a bonus just for coming along to the challenge as well. All right, so day one. Hang on, there's still some people coming in. For those that have come in late, find that chat box. Let me know where in business are you. If you are new to business, if you have been doing it for a while, just so I can get a bit of a gauge and make it all really personal as well. We've still got people coming in. Cool. Amazing. All right, so day one is authority content. So this one I've taken from inside Scale. We have a module that covers both your dream client and content as well. So when we're talking about bringing in clients in 2025, if anyone who has been in the online space for a couple of years now knows that we've seen this huge shift in the market in the last couple of years. How we used to market 5 years ago online is very different to 2024, 2025. People need this deeper level of trust and connection before they're going to enter into your service, especially if we're talking about high ticket service. So if we're talking about someone wanting to pay you $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, then they need this deeper level of connection. We can really set up this connection and this trust through content, because you can show up, share information, show them behind the scenes, show them your personality, and they're going to really start to buy into how you can help someone. This really comes into what we call the client attraction funnel. Now, there are different types of content and things that you post on Instagram that's going to be different parts of this funnel, and it's all important to bring someone in. So we have content that's going to attract people in. So this is what we call growth content. We have awareness content. So this is really what's going to warm someone up, they start to get an idea and awareness of how you can help someone. And then we have the nurturing phase, or where the sales is. Now, in terms of content, I think that we can really focus on majority of stuff here, a little bit in the growth category, depending on what your account is like. But if we can really focus on this connection content to build a deeper connection, then it's going to really shorten the time frame it takes for someone to want to work with you and then essentially purchase. So when we're talking about different types of content, there is content that will go viral or get a lot of views or get a lot of comments, that doesn't create this deeper level of connection. And this is somewhere where I see a lot of dietitians and health professionals going wrong, is they base their whole content plan on what gets the most views. So these are some examples of posts that I've done in the past that do get really high views or have gone viral, but don't bring in any sales. So we need to have this balance inside of content, and really thinking about content and trying to separate separate yourself from metrics. They can give us a bit of information, but your whole content plan shouldn't be based on purely the numbers. Similar with traditional educational content. A couple of years ago, we were doing a lot more of traditional educational content that looked like this. It's basically like, eat these foods, or here are some tips, or eat these foods that are high in protein type of stuff. Again, some of this is okay, but in 2025, we need deeper level of connection, and this kind of stuff just isn't going to do it. The vibe that I really want and that I help my clients to achieve is basically, I want you to think about when someone lands on your Instagram page and they go through a couple of posts.
Perfect for you right now.
This is
Sorry, and by your
this is so interesting.
on mute. Yeah. Okay. So the vibe we want, if someone lands on your page, I want them to be able to be like, oh my God, this is what I've been searching for. They call their best friend, they call their partner, they call their mum, and they're like, I just found the most incredible dietitian or the most incredible psychologist on Instagram. This is exactly what I need and what I've been looking for. That's the vibe. So if you do have a current Instagram account and you even give yourself an audit, like go through with fresh eyes, be like, okay, if someone just landed on my page, what's going to come up for them? This is the vibe we're really looking for. So to create this kind of vibe, I have developed 3 content pillars. Content pillars being that the 3 different themes of the types of content you can create. So essentially across a week, I aim to hit each of these content pillars. In terms of authority content is educational content, but through your experience and through your expertise and client results, if you can share client results. So for example, to really set up authority content, the first thing to really understand is the difference between ideal and dream client. Now, ideal client is this general kind of niche. So you work in IBS, or you work in weight loss, or you work in fertility. It's this general profile of a type of customer that you're designed to serve. That's the first step. So the first step is yes, choosing a niche and this ideal client. To really create powerful content, we take this a step forward and we talk about the dream client. So this is really who is this one, like I like to think of one person, who's one person you've worked with in the past that you really loved working with. Or if there hasn't been many, you literally can make this up. You can design this client avatar that really suits your vision, your values, your goals, and your program. So I think a lot of people make the mistake of talking to people who they think is in their audience or they think they have to help. But I like to switch that and think about who do you actually want to work with, and that's who we speak about. So by doing this activity and thinking about the one true dream client is how you're going to create really powerful content. When someone then comes across your content, they're going to feel really seen, they're going to feel really understood, and they're going to want to work with you if they are in the stage of change where they're looking for someone, which is what we want to speak to. So if anyone's coming to mind, then I want you to think about that, and then we can refine that as well. So who are they? Where are they in life? What are they struggling with in reference to how you can help them? And what is it that they really want to achieve? So here we talk about desires or desire marketing. So more than anything, when it comes to content and marketing, we want to really sell the desire or the transformation or the results that you can help someone achieve. We want to have positive energy come from your page. So someone lands on your page and they feel empowered and inspired and not, they don't feel negative and like, oh, like, yeah, my life kind of sucks vibe, which is pain point marketing. So, desire point marketing, the easiest way to break this down is to first think about who's this dream client, where are they in life, and what are they struggling with, and what do they want to achieve. We then list out their desires. So, what are the broad desires? So, we're going to come back to this in a couple of minutes. So, if you are in that chat box, you are very welcome to drop in who your dream client is and what they want to achieve, because we'll come back to that when we're talking about in the Q&A section. So, for example, this is a general one. If you want to work with a female who wants to have more energy, have a better relationship with food, and they want to lose weight. In content, we're not going to go out and talk to those broad desires. We're actually going to talk about the micro desires. So, type of content that I see dietitians and health professionals making is these really broad statements like nourish your body to feel and perform your best, or heal your gut health so you don't feel bloated, or 5 tips to lose weight. This is what I call broad desires. And instead, we want to take this down to the micro level. So, how we do that? Think about the broad desire, and then we think about their life. So we think about their workday, we think about a weekend, we think about their birthday, we think about holidays, we think about these different moments in their life in reference to how you can help them. And then we break down the moments in their day and how and the desire they have for those moments. So we all know that, for example, wanting to have more energy or wanting to lose weight, there's way deeper stuff at play here. So always we want to just say, okay, what's the broad desire? Why do they want to feel that? Why do they want to feel that? And where in their life is that showing up? So just ask yourself why 3 times and then break it down into their day. So for example, for this was an example of a client of mine who she works with. She works with women who use weight loss medications and they want to optimize that and obviously lose weight and a large amount of weight. So breaking this down into for her client, we were looking at her workday. So her dream client wants to be able to go to the gym after work without feeling intimidated or feeling like they don't belong. They wanted to feel comfortable in their work clothes instead of constantly going up and down sizes because they typically have a history of yo-yo dieting. When it gets to a weekend or, even after work, they want to have the energy to go walk the dog for longer distances without needing to stop or without getting out of breath. They want to have enough energy to play with their kids in the backyard or jump on the trampoline or go and play cricket, whatever it might be. They want to be able to participate in family hikes without being the one that always slows people down. So you'll start to see how these desires are way more specific than something like, I'm going to help you lose weight. Same thing if we think about a holiday. For this dream client, she wants to be able to go to theme parks with her kids without that fear of being turned away, or to be able to go on an aeroplane and fit in the seats, to be able to ride a bike with their kids without being uncomfortable. So essentially, once you've done this activity, we go broad desire, break it down into the micro desires, and then we're going to pull out these micro desires and put this in your content in the actual hook. So on the post, for example, how my weight loss client went from struggling to walk around the block to daily 5 kilometer walks without being out of breath. What this is going to do is then when someone sees this piece of content, they're going to be able to visualize it and they're going to be able to really see yourself in your content. And they're going to relate to that way more, or you're going to stand out a lot more than every other account out there that's just making these really broad statements. So, for example, these are some ones that I've pulled from on my business coaching Instagram. Here, so for myself, my dream client is someone that wants to be able to, yes, make high cash months and make good money, but just as importantly is to have more balance in their life. So they want to be able to do this so that they are working less hours, they are traveling more, they are spending more time with their family or their dogs. So those are the micro moments that I speak to in my content. So for example, this post here, I said, POV, you spend Mondays at the dog park instead of stuck in traffic because you went all in on your online nutrition business. So that's speaking pretty specifically to the pain point and the desire point of someone that I love to work with. This post here went on to talk about different boundaries. So a lot of this messaging is saying, yes, we want to make money, but we're not going to do it at the sacrifice of our mental health and our time and our family and all of these things. This is a story of my client, Carolyn. So she started working with me last year inside of Scale. And when she started working with me, she was really struggling with this idea of the desire of the dream client work. Her last launch, she had done a masterclass launch and had only brought in 1 or 2 people last April. And the first thing we really looked at was content. And we talked about who is this dream client and how do we get more specific inside of messaging. Just by making this switch and just by looking at the dream client, her content then started to really get a lot more specific. She said that it really got a spark. And within our first launch, she was then able to go from signing 1 or 2 people straight into 8 high ticket clients, even making sales without discovery calls purely through her content, either straight to DMs or straight to sales pages and purchasing, because her content started to really call in this dream client. Essentially, this is the kind of results we can expect when we get specific in the marketing, is that people feel like they want to work with you and they feel that really strong pull. So I'm going to give you 3 authority hooks. I'm going to post this in the Facebook page as well. So the authority content hooks that you can play with are these 3. And what I want you to go away and do is think about who your dream client is, what these specific desires are, and then put it into this hook, pop it inside the homework channel that I'm going to post in the group. And I'm going to give you feedback and help you to start actually building and creating this type of content. So for example, this one just says, I'm going to give you the simplest way to achieve specific desire. So in the specific desire, we're putting the micro moment. So we're not just saying, I'm going to help you achieve to lose weight, or I'm going to help you have more energy. We're going to get into that micro desire so that they feel really seen in your content. This one here, if you were my niche client, so this might be if you were my fertility, IVF, celiac, Crohn's disease, whatever it might be, here is exactly what I do to help you specific desire. The third one here is looking at a combination of specific desire and some sort of barrier. So what we can also start to do inside of content is start to preempt the barriers that they're going to have. So they might be thinking, that sounds great. I would love to work with her. But in the past, I've worked with a dietitian and they made me cut out carbs and I really don't want to do that again. Or I worked with the PT and they made me eat 1,200 calories a day and I really don't want to do that. So we start to preempt and address those barriers in content so that when they get to the point of sale, they're no longer thinking that and they're already warm and needing to. So that's what this one here is kind of doing. It's preempting some of those barriers. All right, so day 1, we're simply talking about content here. We're taking some of these hooks and you're going to go away and create a piece of content. I want you to submit just the hook for review. I'll help you to refine it, make sure that it is specific and going to be talking to your dream client. Inside of the homework task, I will get you to say, okay, my dream client is X person. Here is my hook. And then I'm going to give you feedback inside of that. I'm going to be reviewing feedback within the 24 hours of each live training each day. So, to make sure that we are staying on top of everything, I'm going to post this straight after the call. You can go away and do it anytime in the next 24 hours, and then I'll get you feedback. But I'm not going to be reviewing it on Friday or next week or anything like that. All right, I'm going to come over to questions now. So, I see a few people coming in. Cool. Um, Now, questions, comments, you can unmute yourself, you can jump in that chat, either one. I see Cassie's been online for 12 months. Kimmy's here, but she's got her toddler running around. No problem, Kimmy. Emma, I know Emma's got two, right? You website design as well. Yeah. All right. Questions? Anyone want to talk to me?
Would
No.
you like us to unmute or put it in the chat?
Either way, unmute if you want, Christy.
I was just curious, when you're like collecting the micro moment, is it best to like interview some clients or put something on Instagram to collect these specific details? Because sometimes I get like a bit blank and think,
Yeah.
what is that micro moment in their day?
Yeah, good question. So I think there's lots of ways to do this. If you're currently working with clients, I think it could be helpful to have like a Google Doc or a notes or something on your computer when you're doing consults and have that reflection time at the end of your consult day or at the end of the consult if you've got time to jot some ideas down of just things they've spoken about. If you do discovery calls, I think discovery calls are a really great place to kind of pick up on those things, especially the pain points. Like you can just pick up the pain point, the desire point's the opposite, right?
Mm.
Um, ChatGPT, you can use ChatGPT to break it down. So in ChatGPT, I might say something like, "My ideal client is a 30-year-old woman struggling with IBS, constipation, and bloating. How is this showing? Like, what are her desires on a work day, or how is this showing up on her life?" And then you kind of refine it from there. ChatGPT can kind of spit out a lot of ideas. And then you certainly can, if you've got it, if you've got an Instagram audience, you can put it, you can literally just do those question boxes and say, how is this showing up for your life? And most people can usually pull out the pain point. So we just flip it. You want to be able to feel X without that happening.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. I didn't think of using ChatGPT for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
That's okay. Anyone else have questions for today? Comments? No. All right. Easy. Well, I'm going to jump in the Facebook group now. I'm going to post the recording and I'm going to post the homework tasks so you guys can go and plug and play with this. Get it in there and I'll give everyone feedback. And then tomorrow we're meeting at the same time and we're going to basically take this to the next level. We're going to apply it more to the differences between one-to-one and group programs so that depending on what program you're going to be launching, we can actually start to draw in and attract the right type of client. Amazing. All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.